historian of totalitarianism.
I look at fascist rhetoric.
I've been thinking about the sources of the worst kinds of history for a quarter of a century.
Experts say the constitutional crisis is here now.
The Trump administration deporting hundreds of men without a trial.
A massive purge at the FBI.
To make people afraid of speaking out against him.
I'm leaving to the University of Toronto because I want to do my work without the fear that I will be punished for my words.
The lesson of 1933 is you get out sooner rather than later.
I've spent a lot of time in the last decade trying to prepare people if Trump were elected once, let alone twice.
Look what happened. Is this crazy?
I did not flee Trump, but if people are going to leave the United States or leave American universities, there are reasons for that. One thing you can definitely learn from Russians
is that it's essential to set up centers of resistance in places of relative safety.
We want to make sure that if there is a political crisis in the U.S., that Americans are organized.
We've just gotten started. You haven't even seen anything yet. It's all just kicking in.
My colleagues and friends, they were walking around and saying, we have checks and balances, so let's inhale, checks and balances, exhale, checks and balances. And I thought, my God, we're like people on the Titanic, saying our ship can't sink. We've got the best ship, we've got the strongest ship, we've got the biggest ship, our ship can't sink.
This is the first time in my life, I guess, that I've seen the guardrails on our systems be tested like this. I don't know why January 6th wasn't, like, the wake-up call. I don't know.
And what you know as a historian is that there is no such thing as a ship that can't sink.
The golden age of America has only just begun.
America has long had an exceptionalist narrative. Fascism can happen elsewhere, but not here.
But talking about American exceptionalism is basically a way to get people to fall into line. If you think that there's this thing out there called America, and it's exceptional, that means that you don't have to do anything. Whatever is happening, it must be freedom. And so then what your definition of freedom is just gets narrowed and narrowed and narrowed and narrowed, and soon you're using the word freedom, but what you're talking about is authoritarianism.
Toni Morrison warned us.
The descent into a final solution is not a jump. It's one step, and then another, and then another.
We are seeing those steps accelerate right now.
There are some words, in Russian in particular, that I feel help us to understand what's happening in the United States, because we now have those phenomena, произвол. It's the idea that the powers that be can do anything they want to you, and you have no recourse. This not knowing who is next creates a state of paralysis in society.
The Tufts student whose visa was removed because she co-authored an article in the Tufts student newspaper.
I thought, what would I do if guys in masks tried to grab my student? Would I scream? Would I run away? Would I try to pull the mask off? Would I try to videotape the scene? Would I try to pull the guys off of her? Maybe I would get scared and run away. The truth is, I don't know. Not knowing terrified me.
It's a deliberate act of terror. It's not necessary. It's just being done to create a spirit of us and them.
Продажность. It's a word in Russian for corruption, but it's larger than corruption. It refers to a kind of existential state in which not only everything but everyone can be bought or sold.
Critics are calling this a quid pro quo deal between Adams and President Trump.
I'm committed to buying and owning gospel.
He made $2.5 billion today,
He made 900 million.
There's an expression in Polish. I found myself at the very bottom.
The fuck?
And then I heard knocking from below. In Russian, that gets abbreviated to there is no bottom.
We cannot allow a handful of communist radical left judges to obstruct the enforcement of our laws.
What starts to matter is not what is concealed, but what has been normalized. There's no limit to the depravity.
President Trump did not rule out the possibility of a third term.
And the sadism.
The White House released this
That's not
video
against the
titled
Constitution
ASMR,
at all.
Illegal alien deportation flight.
And the cruelty that we are watching now play out in real time.
This facility is one of the tools in our toolkit that we will use.
You have to continually ask yourself,
like, how is any of this allowed, you know? Oh, damn.
Is crypto always bad? Not necessarily. There's crypto the superdog. Such a good boy. And then there's cryptozoology. I'm sure searching for Bigfoot has its charms.
Versus you and the elements, and possibly a cryptozoological simian like hairy humanoid with enormous feet.
What about has yet to find significant uses, dangers to our democracy? Trump's crypto corruption is off the charts. In his first term, Trump profited off the presidency in ways that would have shocked even his most corrupt predecessors. But crypto makes it even easier for individuals and foreign nations to bribe him. Crypto's murky anonymity makes following the money almost as hard as tracking down the Loch Ness Monster. Just 4 days before early voting started in 2024, Trump and his sons launched the crypto firm World Liberty Financial. The New York Times said it's highly unusual for a presidential candidate to embark on a new business just weeks before Election Day. You think? But as soon as Trump won, money started pouring in.
This will truly be the golden age of America.
And then just days before returning to office, Trump launched a separate crypto scheme selling Trump and Melania meme coins. Meme coins are a type of cryptocurrency based on an image
A meme
or an
coin.
online joke.
The president
This
of the
is no
United
joke.
States selling
Trump
meme
family's made about
coins.
$3 billion from crypto so far, with many
No fucking way. There's no way. $3 billion, eh?
purchases by foreign buyers. Forbes now estimates that over half of Trump's entire net worth is crypto-based.
Wow. Over half his net worth is crypto based. 3.3 billion of his total 5.5 billion.
And with Trump acting as both the President of the United States and as his own crypto brand ambassador, it's hard to tell which job he's doing at any given moment. Around the time that Trump made a state visit to the United Arab Emirates, a UAE firm announced it would buy $2 billion of Trump's World Liberty financial currency. And then there's Chinese billionaire Justin Sun. You might have heard of him because he spent $6.2 million buying an avant-garde installation that was a banana taped to a wall, which he then ate. What you might not have heard was that Sun was charged with crypto-related fraud. But after Trump was elected, Sun invested more than $115 million into various Trump crypto products. Guess what happened next? Trump's SEC suddenly stopped prosecuting Sun. How curious and bizarre. Trump's SEC also abandoned a lawsuit against Binance, a crypto exchange that had previously pled guilty to money laundering. When did this happen? Just days after Binance started listing a Trump cryptocurrency on its marketplace. Why do you suppose they dropped these cases? I guess like the Jersey Devil or Chupacabra. Those are just mysteries we'll never unravel. The second thing you must know is that crypto is trying to buy our government. The crypto lobby spent more than $195 million on the 2024 election, and they seem to be getting their money's worth. Within his first 6 weeks in office, Trump called for a crypto strategic reserve, a government-backed stockpile of crypto assets, sort of like our oil reserve, but completely pointless. That announcement made crypto prices shoot up higher than the supposed flying Mothman. Trump's pro-crypto SEC chair, Paul Atkins, is heavily invested in crypto himself. He's lifting financial guardrails in ways that will make it easier for crypto firms like the Trumps to spread into new markets. Trump's Justice Department even scrapped the National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team, giving a green light to all kinds of crypto crime, even though Americans lost $9.3 billion in crypto scams in 2024. Crypto also spent big on House and Senate races, on both Republicans and Democrats. Congress passed.
I think what Donald Trump is demonstrating time and time again is that he prefers to be a king than a president.
According to recent estimates, the Trump family and its partners have made some $320 million in trading fees since the president's meme coin launch.
I can assure you, the president acts with only the interests of the American public in mind, putting our country first and doing what's best for our country.
Sure.
Full stop.
You made a lot of money, sir.
How much?
How much?
Several $1 billion, it seems like, in the last several days.
This is the most corrupt White House in the history of the country.
My name is Donald K. Sherman. I am the Executive Director and Chief Counsel at
Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization devoted to ensuring the integrity of our government institutions.
Donald Trump has gone from lying about what he will do in order to comply with ethics rules to ignoring them altogether. A clear example of that is the Ethics Pledge, where the Ethics Pledge had certain restrictions on folks in his administration, and now in the second term, it's significantly reduced. What we have seen with President Trump is not just a failure to abide by these norms and laws, but an open hostility to these founding principles.
Even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying
Donald Trump's corruption is costing you, me, your neighbors, your children, both money and safety. The threat of Donald Trump's emoluments is only increasing. And now we're also seeing he has a much larger opportunities and a much different portfolio, which is affording foreign adversaries, foreign allies, foreign influence seekers to impact his bottom line in new and increasingly dangerous ways. So the emoluments clauses are parts of the Constitution that were...
Say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now, so you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections?
New tonight, the Trump Organization has begun selling hats and shirts bearing the message Trump 2028. The decision seemingly...
Let's see what we got. What the hell is this? What would it be? Probably a hat. I don't see the 2028 hats, though. Nah, no fucking way, bruh. They're still here. That's not good. Rewrite the rules, bruh. We are